So today I'm going to be looking kind of into the basics of orthographic drawing, mainly converting an isometric view into orthographic, and also kind of the main points behind drawing orthographic drawings and how they should be drawn. So what I've got here is a basic shape, so I've got a basic isometric cube which I'm going to draw out into an orthographic view. So we're going to go through how to select the different views, where you start, and then the different sort of techniques behind it. So I said what I've got here is a cube, so your three sides. This one you've got front view, side view and plan view. So basically the front normally is the most complex side of it. In this case it's a cube, so they're all going to be the same. But normally what's got the most detail on it is going to be your front view. Your plan view, if you like your bird's eye view, so looking down straight onto it, and your side view is looking kind of from the end, so your side or end view. So we start out by drawing the front view. So the front view is always drawn in the bottom left hand corner. So starting in the bottom left hand corner, first thing we need to do is you'll need some measurements. So on some of the designs in this tutorial I'll put the actual measurements on the side. In this case I'm going to do each side as 2 centimeters, so I'm just going to write them on there quickly. So all the edges are going to be 2, so it's going to be 2 by 2 square for the front view. On here I've got my grid paper, so I'm just going to use a straight edge today. Obviously if you have plain paper you'll be using a ruler to measure it out and make sure it's the right size. For this one I'm just going to use my gridded paper and go by the dots. I'm going to say each dot is 1 centimetre and do it that way. So what I'm going to do, as I said, front view, always start in the bottom left hand corner. That means you have enough area at the top to do your plan view and enough to do with the area at the side view. So as I said, I'm just going to use a straight edge today, so I'm going to start at the bottom corner and I'm going to go up 2 squares on my first one. So I'm going to start down here and then go up 2 squares to draw that bit. 2 squares going across, so again sticking to this grid. So 1, 2 squares across, 2 squares up, because that's what that measurement is, and then 2 squares across, which is that one. So I've basically drawn a square in the bottom corner. Now I'm pressing on quite thick this just to make it easier for you to see when you come to do it. So I've got my front view there, so which is basically this square is now in this bottom corner, so that's my front view. So next one is I need my plan view. So when you do orthographic drawing, your views need to line up. So if I draw up top view up here, the sides will need to line up with the plan view and the front view. Same when I come to the side view, they need to line up. Now ideally as well, the gap between the two views wants to be the same going either way. Now I'm going to show you how to do a little quick trick after this. I've done this first plan view to how we can make sure that's going to be the right size. So first thing we're going to look at is what we call construction lines. So construction lines are basically the lines that we're going to draw off that front view going up. Nice faint lines that are going to guide us when we come to do that plan view. So the way they're going to work is construction lines. Every corner that I can see on the side I'm going to draw going up. So on this one I can only see those 2 corners from this top view. So I'm going to put my paper there. I'm going to make sure I don't quite start on the corner of the shape. I'm going to slightly further up, but I'm going to draw a faint line going up. So you can just start to see it on my drawing. I've got a faint line there. Another faint line going up this side, so exactly the same from this corner going up. So I've got a guide that shows that plan view will go in between those 2 lines. So basically it goes from that top bit over there, it's going to be in this bit. So this top view, so plan view again is 2 by 2. Now first bit's really easy for me to do, so I'm looking at there. I know it's going to be too wide because my lines are already, my guidelines are showing me, so I don't need to measure the first bit. So got my first bit there, and obviously this is going to be a square because it's a cube, but going up So I'm going to go from that corner that I've just drawn, so my line that I've drawn, 2 going up again. Same on the opposite side, so 2 going up, because that would be that line which is 2 centimetres, and then going across the top. So again, line on there, going across the top. Now I'm going to do the same for the side view, so coming out this side, which is going to be this side here, so this plan view. So again, on there, guideline coming out from the bottom corner, going out across. Same from that top corner, the line going out and coming across. So again, got my guidelines on that section. Now, one thing I could do to make sure that distance between there and there is the same on here, I could count the squares, so I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and then measure 6 out and start drawing here. Another way to do it, a quick way to do it, is from the top corner of your design, if you draw a line 45 degrees coming out, so just put it up on there. There you go. So 45 degrees in that top corner. Again, not quite touching the guideline. I can now use that to come across. So what I'm going to do is draw a construction line coming out of the side of my plan view. It's going to hit that line and it's going to come down, and that will measure the exact right amount of distance it needs to come out. So from the top, I'm going to pop that on there. Construction line coming across, so again not quite touching the square, to where it hits that line, and then I'm going to draw it 90 degrees coming down. So 90 degrees coming down from drawing. So you can see that now it's kind of showing me where that cube is going to start. So very often just put this bit in here. Again, I can use the same thing, so from that section at the top, draw a construction line coming out, then going down, so from there going straight down again at 90 degrees, and it gives us the outline of our side view. Now obviously it's a simple shape, but this should work with any shape you're going to do. So in the next little bit of tutorial I'm going to do an isometric view with a kind of L-shaped bracket, but if I then cross over these lines where they intersect, so where they cross over each other, that will give me my side view. So going down the lines again, so nice and quick. That gives me my 3 views. So I've got front view, which is that square, plan view, which is the one looking down from the top, the bird's eye view, and the side view, which is this view here, so looking at the side. So last thing to do would be to label them all. I know I've got them labelled up here, but front view, I'd then put side view underneath that part, and I'd put plan view at the top. So they're labelled up, and that is kind of a basic, very basic isometric, orthographic view from an isometric shape, so a 3D shape. So in the next one, I'm going to have a quick look at drawing one that's a little more complicated. I have done 3 or 4 stages this tutorial, so if you're quite confident with this, you can move on to the next ones. So you can have a look at the different tutorials that are out and view them. But the next one, I'm going to be drawing kind of an L-shaped bracket just to show you how to do it as a little bit more complicated shape.